let's get to another court case that we're following and have been following for a long time now. A crucial court hearing is happening today in Idaho, where a judge will hear arguments about whether or not to ban cameras during Bryan Kohberger's murder trial. Now, Kohberger is the Washington State University criminal justice graduate student suspected of stabbing 4 University of Idaho students to death. Let's bring in NewsNation law and justice contributor and retired FBI agent Jennifer Coffindaffer. She joins us live. Jennifer, thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me, Marky.
So Kohberger's attorneys arguing cameras will keep their client from getting a fair trial, and also the prosecutors filed a motion agreeing with the defense. So if both sides are agreeing here, no cameras in the courtroom, does that increase the likelihood that their wish will be granted?
I think very much so, Marky. That makes it easy on the judge. There's really no argument here from either side. And of course, he wants to be fair and judicial, first and foremost, to their client. And by doing that, he can do both in one launch, because both sides agree, Marky.
But what about fair to the families and fair to the interest of the public? I know Kaylee Gonzalez and Xana Kernodle's families released a statement saying it's vitally important that the trial be open for the public to view and to watch. So will the judge take their wishes into account? And do they normally take into account opinions from victims' families?
Not in this situation, I don't believe. Certainly when it comes to sentencing, when it came to the death penalty motion, but no, not in this case. And the prosecution disagrees with the family members. They really do believe that in terms of putting their witnesses on the stand, having that sanctity of not having cameras in the courtroom is what's best to propel their case.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of different opinions here. You also have the attorneys representing the media that we have to talk about too. They, of course, say cameras should be allowed in the courtroom. We all want to see how it plays out to defend the public's right to access to free speech. Will that argument, be put into play to persuade the judge to allow cameras in the courtroom? Or is the media kind of, last line of consideration here?
I think it's the last line, but certainly Judge will listen to what they have to say and take that into account. Now, the one thing I think that's really important, Marky, is this doesn't mean that the media can't be there. This doesn't mean that sketches can't be made or that it can't be reported on. It simply means that cameras won't be there. So there will be the watchful eyes of citizenry and the media to oversee and to report to everyone else what happens.
Yeah, and all eyes will be on this trial, no doubt about it. Lastly, just where do you fall on it? I mean, what do you hope that this judge decides? I know you've been following this since day one.
I personally, Marky, agree with the prosecution standpoint. I truly believe that the age of the individuals that are going to be testifying, combined with really the gruesomeness of this crime and what we are going to be seeing in terms of, or would have been seeing in terms of photos and listening to these horrible descriptions, I think it's best that it's reported on as opposed to seeing live.
Yeah, and when there are cameras in the courtroom and you talk about, the witnesses, their age, how young they are, college students that are needing to testify, how do cameras play into that being unfair to them? Does that just amount to there's a lot more pressure on them because they know this is playing out in front of the eyes of the world? Or what does that mean exactly?
It means pressure, Marky. It means looking into all of those cameras that would be watching them and following on their every word. They're going to be nervous enough as it is. This is a situation where they're on the stand and get to give the recitation of what happened, but then the defense is going to be lying in wait, ready to pounce on their every word, ready to show that they're not being honest or truthful based on one slip they might make. So it's a high pressure situation, and to have cameras watching over that is really going to be difficult for these witnesses.
Yeah, well, one that we're going to follow closely, and I'm sure this is not the last time you and I talk about whatever happens and comes from today. Jennifer Coffindaffer, thanks so much.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider, and don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.